Jeremy here. It's a beautiful, bright, sunny day here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Hope everything is well on your side. Today, what we're going to be talking about is three things every coach, and this is also for service providers, consultants, freelancers, agency owners. I say coaches as a kind of all-encompassing word, but three things to be starting and three things to be stopping. We'll probably do those in reverse and start with the stopping and then go into the starting. And these are things that I've seen in my own business from coaches that I'm helping in personal freedom mentoring, from my students and get clients, and from my thousands of friends on Facebook, Instagram, and all of these other places. Before we talk about the three things that you must stop doing and start doing, I think it's important that we look in this in context to kind of where we're at in space and time. So if we think about it, right now we are in March 2021. And every coach right now is making decisions that are going to affect them over the next 12 months. So, let's call that March 2022, as we're just thinking about the future. And so, it's important to be thinking about what decisions we're making here in space and time for where they're going to be affecting us over the next year. By the way, if you are watching this live, comment the word live wherever you're watching this. And if you're watching this in the future, use hashtag replay. That way I can, number one, know the tech is working. And number two, want to say hi to you and see how things are going. So here we are over in March 2021 territory. And the decisions that you're making right now are going to affect you and kind of put you on one of three tracks. The first track is that you continue doing what may be working. The chances are if we do that, we're going to fall into some fear. We're going to fall into some kind of wondering what is working and following some others. And what ends up happening is you kind of you trace the same track as all of the others, but then you just kind of end up falling down. And you kind of end up here in no man's land. This is where businesses are closing. This is where you got to go back to the job you hate. You're not able to retire your spouse. You're not able to do more of the things you're wanting with your life. That's kind of one kind of coach. The second kind of coach is kind of, doing what's working, looking at others and modeling others. And they stay as positive as possible. They don't let the fear to creep in. And what ends up happening is they kind of, go on the same line, and they are kind of they're winning, and some months are good, some months are a little not as good as where you're wanting them, and then you kind of just end up on the same line, same revenue, not impacting more people. You don't see the revenue going up. And then there's this third line of coaches, and these coaches are the ones and it's going to look like you're doing the same things as them, but over time they just kind of leave the pack and head off in a different trajectory. And what I want to know from you is, which one of these paths do you want to be on come March 2022? That's not the good red. This is the good red. Come March 2022. Which of these trajectories do you want to be on? And a lot of today's presentation is going to help you to determine here which track you're going to end up on. Because the reality is you're going to end up on one of these three tracks, either kind of getting stuck and quitting or giving up, doing what more of what you're already doing, which is getting you mixed results, and you kind of end up in the same place. For some, that's a best case scenario, not me or the people that I help. Or you're going to end up doing what's working, what's continuing to work, proven strategies, and end up on the kind of green track where the other successful coaches are over here in this territory. So those are the kind of possibilities and the lifelines that lay ahead of you. And it's up to you to determine which you want to be on. So leave a comment right now. Do you want to be in growth? Do you kind of want to be, let's call this stalled? And what should we call line number 3, which is, we'll call this stopped. And we all know coaches at the beginning of the pandemic, if we were able to scroll over to the left and look at March 2020, you made decisions that got you in one of these three places, and you have the same decisions ahead of you coming forward in the next year. That said, let's talk now about three things to stop and start in your online coaching business and in your service-based business. Let's start by talking about the things that I would like for you to stop doing. And we're just going to put thing number one down here at the bottom. The first thing that I want you to stop doing to avoid getting on this trajectory or this trajectory right here, the first thing that I need for you to do is to stop looking at your quote unquote competition. I always spelled that word wrong, so I might have gotten it wrong right here. I can't see the name unfortunately here, but it says someone here wants to be on the growth plan. I commend you for that, my kind of people. So the first thing we have to do is stop looking at competition. And what I would like for you to do instead of looking at the competition, checking on what they're doing, kind of, modeling what they're doing, and kind of looking at people who are far ahead of you. Henry's in the house. What's going on? Good to see you, brother. Welcome in. What we want to do is stop looking at others and copying them and modeling them and doing exactly what they're doing. I think I think we can all agree here, there's a time and place to model what others are doing, but it's important we model people who are at a very similar stage or just one step ahead of us. Otherwise, we start doing the wrong things in the wrong order at the wrong time, and we waste a lot of time in the process. And so what I want you to do instead of looking at your competition is, if I had it my way, you would replace that time with checking in on prospects and on your existing clients. If I'm ever stuck and feeling like revenue isn't headed in the direction I want it in the time I'm wanting it, almost without fail, every time I can come over here specifically to this check in on clients or make my program better area. And if I work on this right here, for some magical reason, clients are coming my way, people start replying, people start buying, checking out, signing up for strategy calls. There's something magical that happens when we focus on what we're doing with our existing clients who are already paying. So if you're not doing this already and you're spending your time looking at the competition, let's change that. And what I want to see that replaced with is following up with prospects that are in your pipeline. So getting inside of your CRM, following up, touching base with everyone, and then also checking on your clients and seeing how things are going and how you can help them to get them unstuck and to keep them going. And it's my hunch that you're going to do something magical with the universe here that just unlocks some stuff and starts to reset the energy and set it in your path if you believe in it or look at it from that perspective. Or you're just going to be dusting taking the dust off of the things that you have offered for your clients and for your customers, even if you don't have any in there right now. And let's just see what happens. If you only do one thing from this, stop looking at your competition and put the blinders on and start focusing on what's in front of you. That's prospects and your clients. Let's talk about thing number two. And my friends, while you're watching this, as you're hearing these, I want for you to be thinking which one of these is you. So which is me, and then commenting here wherever you're watching this, or just saying it out loud, which of these is going to make the most sense for you to stop doing. Thing number two is I need for you to stop jumping trend to trend. And, there's infinite amount of social platforms popping up and available out there in the world. Some better than others, some more effective than others. But the important thing to take away from this is there's going to be a ton of trends. I've been in this coaching space since 2013, and believe it to me, I've seen the trends come and go. Whether it was, live streaming have a surge when Meerkat and Periscope came out and then kind of died off a little bit. Then Instagram live launches, and then all of these platforms start to launch, and the pandemic happens, and now live streaming is like the thing. It's there, but it was trendy at one point in time. We see new platforms these days, whether it's a function inside of Instagram or TikTok and Clubhouse. And this isn't a chat on which platform you should be on. This is more of stop jumping trend to trend. Stop looking at what all of the other coaches are doing and waking up with this fear of missing out. there is an opposite things that happen. So if you're here, then chances are you're going to be experiencing some FOMO. And I want for you to do what my buddy Brian Fanzo talks about, which is JOMO, which is the joy of missing out. Appreciate your free time, appreciate doing things in the right order and not jumping trend to trend. And there's some really good kind of peace of mind things that come with that. Let's talk about what I want for you to start doing instead of jumping from trend to trend. And this is what I hear a lot of people say it these days. I heard this from John Lee Dumas, JDL, over at Entrepreneur on Fire a couple years back. This is like 2011, 2012. And that is focus, but it stands for something. And it's follow one course until success. You see, even when you have a proven plan, and I only know this from my own experience and from my students, even when you have a plan, there's gonna be an inclination to jump from plan to plan. What I want you to do instead is to follow that one course until you're a success. A lot of coaches out there these days are stuck where they're at because they're going from trend to trend, yes, but they sometimes have a plan, they just don't give it enough time to work. And so when something doesn't work, they just stop and then go and start something else. What I want for you to commit for the rest of these 12 months is to not do something to see if it works, do it until it works. And it's my take that everything that you touch in time will end up turning to gold. Maybe not right away, but you have to give it enough time for that alchemy, quote unquote, to work. So what I want for you to start doing is to start focusing and get away from jumping trend to trend. Again, I want to know from you in the comments, which of these is speaking out most to you and what do you need to stop and start doing? Let's now talk about thing number 3. Thing number 3 is about jumping ahead. And this is really a symptom of doing these other two things. I notice they go hand in hand with coaches who are looking at their competition and going from trend to trend, is they're also kind of jumping ahead. You see, chances are high you're looking at other coaches who are, making 6 figures a year or a month, and right now you're not there. And in time, we can 100% get you there. But we have to do the right things in the right order at the right time for enough time. Hell, you might be in a program or in one of my programs, and instead of doing things in order, you might, zoom all the way through the content, not implementing, and get to the end stuff because it's the juicy stuff, or it's the stuff that you see the other successful coaches who are ahead of you doing. And so you want to focus there instead of doing the right things in the right order. Or maybe you have a coach or you're in a coaching program, or you were, and it didn't work the way you were wanting. Did you implement as you went, or did you skip things to get ahead to the things that were sexy and elusive and exciting versus doing the things that aren't, like the hard work and the reps? If you're an instant gratification person, I'm talking to you right now. I'm just as impatient as you, but if you do the right things in the right order, things are going to get better. And so what we need to do instead of jumping ahead, my friends, is we need to follow the path. Follow the path. I'm going to use the word plan right here. We need to follow the plan, and we need to follow it until it works, not just to see if it works. Stop dipping your toes in things to see the temperature and just jump in, find the mentor, find the path and the blueprint, and get to freaking work. So I want to know from you, which one of these is the big opportunity that you see for yourself right now? Do you need to stop looking at the competition and focus more in on your prospects and with your clients? Do you need to stop jumping from trend to trend and having that fear of missing out and get back to focusing and following one course until you're a success? Or do you need to just stop jumping ahead and do the right things in the right order, put in the hard reps, follow the plan, and get the results you're looking for? Leave a comment right now with which one you're wanting. Now, at the beginning of this chat here today, we looked at some possibilities for the future version of you. Every coach made some decisions right here in March 2021 or in March 2020 that got them to where they're at in March 2021. And you have the same ability to make decisions for where you are wanting to be from right now in space and time over the next 12 months. And I asked you, do you want to be in growth mode? Do you want to be kind of in stalled territory, or do you want to be in stopped and bleeding and maybe never coming back to business territory? Which one do you want to be in? Okay. Stop looking at the competition. Yep, that's a big one. That can save you a lot of time and energy for sure. That's going to be something that gets you up here closer to the growth plan. The reality is, my friends, is that yes, there is this stalled line, but really these stalled people, they stay stalled for an amount of time and then they end up kind of ending up down here with these stopped people. So my friends, there really is only two options. Is do you want to grow or do you want to slow and stop? There are leaders and there are bleeders in every industry, and the decision you make from this are going to determine where you are at. Now, if you are an online coach, a fitness coach, a business coach, a service provider, or a consultant, this part is for you. The decisions you make right now, they're going to take you into one of those lifelines, and the choice is yours. Upcoming this next month, we have a great group of coaches who are getting together every single week and implementing my 4-part system for getting to 6 figures and beyond in their coaching business. And so I'm looking for 5 online coaches who have an offer worth at least $500 and are open to ideas to upping that price. But there's a couple of requirements you got to make. You got to have an offer worth at least $500. You have to have a minimum of 1 to 3 hours to take my marching orders and to implement them. It doesn't take long if you do the right things in the right order. It'll take long if you jump ahead. You have to have the capacity to take on 3 to 5 clients in the next 30, 60, 90 days. You got to be friendly and coachable, and you got to be able to keep the secret. So if that's you, then leave a comment or shoot me a DM with the word clients. And I want to show you exactly what's working for other coaches right now who are thriving even through the pandemic or even starting in the middle of a pandemic. Share with you what's working so we can add some revenue to your online business and get you to the minimum starting the kind of 4 to 5K to 7 to 12K range. So 4 to 12K over the next 30, 60, 90 days. So if that's you, leave a comment with the word clients, and I'll reach out to you with all the details and all of the specifics to make sure you're a fit and get you everything that you need. My friends, the decision for you should be pretty simple. And what you're doing right now in space and time will determine where you're at this time next year, whether you're watching this in March, April, May, June, or July, or beyond. So make the decisions right now to get on this growth line, to get surrounded by other coaches who are already doing these things, growing every single day, reaching more, having more impact, more meaning, more freedom, and just a lot more fun. That's it for me. Enjoy the rest of your week. And if you're not already in the group where we do these live, comment the word group so we can get you an invite, and over there rubbing shoulder to shoulder with other coaches and service providers already crushing these things here today. That's it for me. See you in the next one. Cheers.